Okay, so today we're going to flip the script. We normally see you on interviews, talking to people in the fleet industry, really making a splash, but today I'm going to get you on camera. We're going to put you in the hot seat today.
Okay, I'm ready.
For the incredibly few people out there who have no idea who you are, will you let our audience know who you are and why we've got you on camera?
Sure. I'm Erin Gilchrist. I am VP of Fleet Evangelism, great title, here at IntelliShift. This is our booth, and we're at NAFA. I have the pleasure of doing three things at IntelliShift. One is I host our customer advisory board, which is super fun. I also get to be a consultant for our prospects and customers, using my fleet experience as a fleet manager to help them achieve goals like sustainability, safety, and efficiency. And then the third thing I do is I host our podcast, which is called Straight Talk on Fleet. And that's just building community. We don't really talk about IntelliShift on that podcast. We really do things like what Lauren and I are doing right now. So
that's a perfect segue. Being the person who's usually asking all the tough questions to the folks in the fleet industry, how do you get them to open up to you about strategy? How do you get your audience and the people you're talking to really open up to you?
The first thing is, I think we have so much shared knowledge and experience. So them knowing that I am a longtime fleet manager who really understands what they're going through every single day, that's the first thing. We have that immediate connection, like we're reading each other's minds almost. And then I create this environment where it's just an open conversation. So when we are doing a podcast, for example, and hanging out, it's just that. I'm like, we're just going to chat. Forget that we're being recorded.
Right.
And then we do forget because we're talking about great things like you and I are doing right now. So those are probably the two best ways, and it just feels so natural.
Just having a conversation with somebody.
Absolutely.
Camera's not there,
Exactly.
We're just talking.
Exactly.
What's one of the big trends or shifts that you've been starting to see lately when you've been talking to people through your interviews?
I think the biggest thing is fleet managers are feeling really a lot of pressure. They are doing way more with way less. So they're thinking about, how do I do a few things? One is really, what do I do with all this freaking data? I'm overwhelmed by it and I don't know what to do with all of it. Or they know what to do, they just can't do it out of 4 or 5 systems. So that's a big struggle. The supply chain issues continue to be tough because they've got vehicles that they're running forever. They need to get rid of them. They're costing them a lot of money. They're trying to replace them, and they're trying to figure out how to keep them on the road longer. So there's always that. The price pressures right now, and that's been going on, but it continues. So it's like, how do we continue to show ROI and value while we're paying more for everything? And I think, you and I know the answer to that is just stick to the fundamentals. But we're hearing those same things. And then the newer trends, unfortunately, those are just continued, those 3 things. But the newer trends we're hearing about is definitely like AV, EV, sustainability. But in my opinion, I know sustainability, there's no silver bullet. So I always, I think, help to ease their mind around things they can do right now when they can't just replace all their vehicles with a different type of asset. So
yeah, no, that's a great point.
Yeah.
All right, if you could interview one person in the fleet world who you've not yet had a chance to talk to, this is your chance to call them out and get them on your show.
Okay, so Patty Early is someone who I've always looked up to in fleet. I've always thought of her as a friend and a mentor. So she just won a big award here at the show. And so I'd love to get her on for sure. And there's just so many icons like Patsy Brown. I mean, we could go on and on. But certainly Patty would be on my top few people that I haven't interviewed yet.
All right, well, Patty and any other fleet managers out there, make sure you call Erin up and get on her show.
Absolutely.
What's something that you've learned from doing these interviews and talking with all of these fantastic people?
That the fleet industry is filled with dynamic, brilliant, hardworking, friendly, collaborative people. And I knew that, but when I started to really interview people, I'm like, wow, saw them in a different light, right? Learned more about them, about how their personal life affects their work and vice versa. And just talking to them on an intimate level, I learned that, I'm not the only one juggling lots of things, right? And so many so many great people, but just the resiliency, the brilliance, the multitasking, if that's a thing. Just the people in this industry are so dynamic, and they come from all different types of backgrounds, because we know no one grew up and said, I'm going to be a fleet manager. So it's really been so enlightening and insightful to hear about how they came into fleet and all of their different backgrounds, and just get to soak in all of their brilliance. It's been awesome.
Well, Erin, I think one of our
You included. Well,
before I think we're done with our industry time, we have to make it so that people are actually wanting to be a fleet manager in high school. When they actually come out, we need to have a few people who said, no, actually, I did want to be a fleet manager when I grew up.
Yeah. Well, and I think what we're doing, it brings this profession to life.
Yep.
For a lot of people. We reach a lot of people. So I would love for people who are watching this content today to, hey, spread the love. Talk to your kids, talk to your, friends, and let them know that there's this great profession out there that can be fulfilling and challenging, and it touches so many aspects of how our brains work. There's finance and people and organization and collaboration and teamwork, and it just it takes a lot to be a fleet manager. You have to wear a lot of hats. So I think it really grows people professionally. It has for me over these many years.
A lot more than just the vehicle.
It is so much more. So, and you really have to learn how to work with people all throughout your organization if you're doing it right. And so I think it's a great career. So spread the love, everybody.
All right, so a real quick one for you. What is it beyond that about the people in this industry who really love the most?
So the people are number one. I mean, I love the people in this industry. They've brought me up as a professional and as a fleet manager. But I love the fact that while on this show floor today, for example, there's so many competitors. Mm-hmm. And I love that competitors are open to helping each other grow. There's healthy competition. Now, granted, I'm not giving away any customers to a competitor. Just note that. However, the beauty of it is, I know that all these people want to help each other grow and learn. And many fleet managers and many suppliers and people in finance have moved around in different roles in the industry. And we've seen that for the last 20 years. And I see the same faces, but they're doing many different things. So I think the options are endless, and the collaboration is unmatched. I haven't seen it in any industry.
And you're an example of the growth and the change. When I first met you, you were not with IntelliShift.
Right. I was running a big fleet, and look where I am now. So it's so fun.
Okay, real quick speed round. Quick answers to these three questions. Okay. Most underrated topic in fleet today?
Data stewardship.
Most common buzzword you're hearing right now?
Sustainability. I mean, everybody thinks that means EVs. It does not. Sorry, EV vendors, but it doesn't. So sustainability, being sustainable, is a buzzword. There's so much more to that, but yeah. So that's right. One.
And does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes, pineapple belongs everywhere. In drinks, on pizza, grills, chicken, salsa. Okay. Anyway.
I love it. Thank you so much, Erin.
Awesome.
I appreciate you.
It's great to do this.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yay.